My name is Jennifer Ames. I'm with Coldwell Banker, and I've been a realtor since 1994. I've been asked to speak to you about building blocks to success, and I have a few ideas that have worked really well for me. First of all, you have to start with your education. I went to a real estate school, and I decided that that was everything I was not going to do. I started buying books about the real estate industry, about being a high performer, and sort of set my own curriculum to include a wide range of things that were not the sort of everyday pedantic stuff that you learn and everybody else learns in real estate school. The next thing is I am a conference junkie. So I have traveled all over the country. I have learned from what top agents are doing around North America, and I have the best information from that. So if you're not going to conferences, start signing up. There's all kinds of opportunities to go to conferences, and it's really, really important. The third thing related to education is that when I started out in the business, I went to 20 brokers' opens every Tuesday. I made a list, I mapped it out. It was before the internet, and now there's a lot of pictures online, but there is no substitute for firsthand getting to know a building, getting out, seeing what it looks like, getting a feel for it, understanding the views, and how can you expect to speak knowledgeably to a buyer or even a potential seller if you really haven't gotten in there? So by the time I had my first call for $1 million listing, I had already seen $100 million apartments, and I was perfectly comfortable walking in and giving that client counsel. So learn the inventory. The second building block is build a great database. Start from the very beginning and put everybody you can think of that might have any interest in knowing about what you're doing, your success, what you're doing in your community, what's happening in the community, you name it. Get them in there from day one. Code it carefully so that you can figure out 3 years later when you look at it, who the heck was that person? You know, was that a buyer, a seller, somebody you met in an open house? But I find trying to reconstruct a database later is difficult. For me, my holiday card mailing is a very big part of how I generate my business every year, and I have a very substantial list, and it's a way for me to communicate on a personal basis with people who have been in my world throughout my career. The last building block, I would say, is to remember to say thank you. And you need to say thank you a lot. You need to say thank you every time somebody sends you a referral. You need to say thank you when an agent returns your call and answers a question that you have about a pricing decision or an offer. You need to say thank you every time somebody comes to an open house, and especially to your clients. But if you can build, and I know it sounds like, of course you should say thank you, but you really should say thank you, and you should figure out how to do it in a special way where people will look at you afterward and say, wow, my agent really went above and beyond. That was really thoughtful. I hope that helps.